Hello and welcome to the Allotment series. So last time we was here, we managed to clear out this whole area, and all that was due to having some better tools. So we had comments in the previous episode, and I mean we've had a lot of comments saying that the work that we done last episode might not be enough to stop all the brambles and other weeds regrowing on this area here. As you guys have let me know, that removing the bramble crowns will not be enough to stop the brambles fully from regrowing. Unfortunately, even the roots that are still in the ground will end up regrowing into more brambles. So that means we're going to have to go through this whole area again and try and remove as many bramble roots as we can, but I am okay with the fact that we might not be able to remove all of them from the ground, as there's going to be a lot down there. We will expect some of the brambles to regrow in the spring. As long as I remove them quickly and keep repeating the process of getting rid of them when I see them, they should end up dying off. I've also had lots of comments as well referencing this plant, which I think is pronounced a carex pendula. I'm obviously completely ruining that pronunciation of the plant. Apparently they can also be a real pain in the garden. Come the spring or summer, when they start producing seeds, they can actually spread everywhere in the allotment. So that's probably what's happened here. That's why we've probably got so many of them in our allotment. So we've been advised to try and keep this away from any compost piles as we can, because the chances are they will probably root in the compost pile instead of decomposing, and that is not what we want. So thank you again for all your helpful comments. It does mean a lot more work, but it doesn't matter, and hopefully within a couple more episodes this whole place will look a whole lot better. So there is one thing I would like to address to everyone. It has got nothing to do with the allotment really. It's more about myself and the way I say and pronounce things. I have got slight dyslexia. Not a lot of people will know that, but I have got slight dyslexia. That's why sometimes I say stuff a little bit wrong, and also when I'm replying to your comments I might end up making spelling mistakes. The only reason I'm addressing it is because I have had a couple of comments where they have been not criticising but mentioning the way that I say stuff or pronounce stuff. I'm not worried about it because it is just a general question to ask, and I just want you guys to know that I do have a slight dyslexia problem. Hopefully it makes it a bit easier why I can't pronounce plants like this properly, as I do tend to struggle. Now, if you live in the UK at the moment, you would know that we're actually going through a really bad cold spell. We ain't had no snow here. I wish we did, I would have had a day off of work. But now would be a good time to actually get the bonfire sorted so we can have a fire here to try and keep ourselves warm during the day, because it is quite cold. But before we start rebuilding our bonfire pit, we have to go back over the area which we started last episode and try and remove as many bramble roots as we can. What I'm going to do first is just loosen all the soil up. Let's see how many roots we can expose. Oh god, look at that one. Ooh. I don't know how many soil experts are out there, but this soil does seem very condensed at the moment. Very clay-like, which kind of worries me. I don't know because it was all frozen and now it's all just really wet, but the soil does not seem to be draining very well. Unfortunately, I might have to come back to this later in the episode. The mud is at the moment really thick. Because look at the state of my boots. I am not able to even get any traction at all on the floor, but we have managed to find this many roots so far in just a small little area. So what I might do in the meantime is start clearing out some more of these lilies, as we have got an abundance of them on the allotment. Now, to those of you that were worried for my feet when I was using this mattock, don't worry, now I have got my steel toe caps on. So, if I do end up slipping, I shouldn't end up taking my toes off. But thank you for looking out for me. So as we said before, we can't compost these pendulas, but someone did mention that we could pop these upside down so the roots are facing upwards, and hopefully they will die. Or if not, hopefully the frost attacks the roots, then they die. But long story short, they are all going to go on the fire because we can't afford to keep pulling these out of the ground every day all year. So thank you for that comment. So I haven't really paid attention to this before, but look at the size of the pile of all the pendulas we've got to get out. Oh my god, this area is absolutely swarming with them. But lucky enough, a lot of them are only small little ones. So hopefully there shouldn't be a problem. But what I have noticed is inside the pendula, there is a lot of bramble bushes hiding. So it's bad enough trying to get rid of the pendula, but the bramble roots are also getting in the way. So this is going to take a while. As these pendulas are actually in the path in between allotments, I'm just going to take the tops off them with this tool here. And that's because I don't want people to complain that I have accidentally dug up the pathway. I just want to try and clear the tops of them to try and stop the pendula growing. Have some of that. Yes. Right, so now this looks a lot better. All the pendula has been removed from this area, but we still do need to remove most of the brambles that are still in the ground. But even though this area is starting to look good, look at all this. This is all the pendula that I've managed to rip up so far. And that also includes this pile here. So while on my rampage of getting rid of all the pendula, I accidentally removed this from the ground. Now this looks like a cool little house plant. I don't know why it was that deep inside the pendula. It was too late for me to notice it, as once I started removing the pendula, I accidentally ripped this plant out. But hopefully it can be saved, and I might just do so. So the only issue we got now is the fact we've got loads of pendula just sitting around the allotment, and we don't want them to end up regrowing, so I have got a plan. Nice. So I think I've managed to clear out all the brambles from behind me. And this is the pile that we managed to get out of the ground. There wasn't many brambles in the ground here, so it was okay. But one really positive thing was there's no membrane here. I did not hit one bit of membrane, so that's a bonus. We ain't got to rip anything out of here. So the next step, we're going to repurpose this tarp. Instead of covering over the brambles, we're going to use it to cover the floor over there. Soon these brambles will end up on the bonfire, so I don't think covering it up anymore is going to be worth it. So the reason why I've done this is so now it should stop anything from growing underneath, and also I can now put my pendula on it and because it's not in contact with the ground, it shouldn't reroot itself. Hopefully this plant will stop the pendula from regrowing. So unfortunately, that is the end of today's episode. But I have finished off today by doing a little bit of tidying up, and I'll show you what I've done. I managed to put all the carex pendula plants onto this tarp that I put down here. We still have got a little bit more to go, and there is a couple more where the brambles are. But yeah, hopefully now this will all dry out and hopefully it'll all die. I've moved all the compost pile over to here, including the original compost pile that we had in the first couple episodes here as well. Unfortunately, the fire pit, that's going to have to wait till next episode. We have now got the massive pile of brambles here. I put them all into one big area, but this pile will definitely get bigger. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode, and let me know if this plant is actually worth saving or not, because it does look kind of cute, and I'm sure I've seen this before in other people's gardens. Like I said, it's very strange why this was in my allotment in the first place. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you next time.